The ice cracked beneath Alex Morgan's boots as he stepped onto Europa's frozen surface. The distant sun cast long shadows across the icy landscape. 5 years ago, he had been Captain Morgan of the Earth Defense Fleet. Now he was just a salvage operator looking for scraps to keep his small crew fed. "Readings are getting stronger, boss." Olivia Bennett's voice crackled through his helmet comm. She had stuck with him even after his court-martial and disgrace. Loyalty like that was rare these days, especially since the Velari attacks began. "How much farther?" Alex asked, checking his oxygen levels. They had about 3 hours before they needed to return to their ship, the Horizon. 200 meters northeast. Whatever's down there, it's big. Alex adjusted his course, following the scanner's directions. Humanity needed something, anything to turn the tide. The Velari had appeared 18 months ago, their massive ships darkening skies over major cities before opening fire. Billions dead in the first wave. Earth's military had fought back, but their weapons barely scratched the alien vessels. "You really think we'll find something valuable out here?" Jack Porter, their security specialist, asked. "Seems like we're just wasting oxygen. The anomaly matches nothing in our database." Alex replied. "That means it's either natural and unknown, or artificial and valuable," Jack finished. "Fair point." They reached the coordinates and began setting up the drilling equipment. Europa's ice was kilometers thick in most places, but their scans showed this object was only 40 meters down, as if it had melted its way through before losing power. 6 hours later, after returning to their ship for supplies and bringing the heavy drilling equipment, they broke through. Alex was the first to descend into the dark cavity. "Lights," he commanded, and the beams from his suit illuminated what lay below. His breath caught. Not just scraps or fragments, but an entire ship. A warship, by the look of it, with Earth markings. It was massive, easily 400 meters long, with sleek lines and weapon ports unlike any design he'd seen before. "Olivia, are you seeing this?" He adjusted his helmet camera. That's impossible," she whispered through the comm. "Ship registry database shows nothing that size ever went missing near Jupiter. And the design, it looks advanced. More advanced than anything we have now." "How old do you think it is?" Jack asked, descending beside Alex. "Hard to tell. The hull's intact. No major damage visible." Alex moved closer, brushing away ice crystals that had formed on the ship's surface. Beneath his gloved hand, he felt a slight vibration. "Wait. There's still power. After being buried in ice." "No way," Jack said. Alex found what appeared to be an airlock and wiped away more ice, revealing a nameplate. USDFINC. "I need to get inside," Alex said, feeling a strange pull toward the vessel. 3 days later, after careful cutting and bypassing of security systems, they opened the airlock. The air inside was thin but breathable. Lights flickered weakly along corridors as if the ship recognized human presence and was trying to respond. "This ship," Alex said, running his hand along the console that hummed to life at his touch, "it could change everything. Even if we could get it working, what good is one ship against the Velari fleet?" Jack asked. Alex pointed to markings on the wall. Schematics of weapon systems unlike anything in Earth's arsenal. "Because this isn't just any ship. It's something else entirely." Back on Earth, the Velari ultimatum had just been delivered. Complete surrender within 30 days or face extinction. Humanity's remaining ships were outgunned, outmaneuvered, and falling rapidly. But in the cold darkness of Europa, Alex Morgan stood in the command center of the Defiance, watching as systems slowly awakened around him. For the first time since the war began, he felt something he had nearly forgotten. Hope. Admiral Kate Williams stared at the images on the screen, her face tight with skepticism. The war room of Earth's last military base was crowded with officers desperate for good news. "A mystery ship buried in ice," she said flatly. "And you think this can save us, Morgan?" Alex stood tall despite his exhaustion. The journey back to Earth had been risky with Velari patrols everywhere. The technology on board is like nothing I've seen. The ship has systems that could give us an edge. We have 26 days before the Velari deadline, Kate reminded him. What exactly are you asking for? A team. Engineers, historians, weapons experts, and permission to restore the Defiance. The room fell silent. Resources were precious now. Every worker, every drop of fuel mattered. I'll give you 2 weeks, Kate finally said. Not a day more. 3 days later, Alex watched as transport ships landed near the excavation site on Europa. Engineers, scientists, and military personnel filed out, their faces a mix of doubt and desperate hope. Sam Nichols was the first to approach him. The engineer's hands were scared from working on broken ships after the Velari's first attack. The same attack that had killed his wife and daughter. Captain Morgan. Sam extended his hand. I heard you found something impossible. Just Alex now, he replied, shaking the man's hand. And yes, impossible seems about right. Dr. Paul Garcia joined them, his eyes wide as he looked at the exposed portion of the ship. My God, it's really the Defiance. Alex turned to him. You know this ship. I know the stories, Paul said, adjusting his glasses. The Defiance was an experimental warship, supposedly lost during early space exploration, but most historians thought it was just a myth. Over the next week, they worked tirelessly. Sam led the engineering team, reconnecting power systems and repairing damaged sections. The ship seemed to respond to their efforts, systems coming online faster than expected. It's like it wants to be fixed, Sam told Alex one night as they reviewed progress. Half the time I don't even understand the technology I'm working with. On the 10th day, they reached the engine room. Sam stopped at the entrance, his flashlight beam revealing a massive central core unlike any conventional drive. That's not a fusion drive, he whispered. It's not antimatter either. Then what is it? Olivia asked, standing beside them. I don't know. The principles behind it. Sam shook his head. It shouldn't exist. Not with our understanding of physics. That evening, as most of the crew rested, Alex walked the corridors of the Defiance alone. The ship was 60% restored, but time was running out. Back on Earth, Velari ships had begun positioning for what would likely be their final attack. His hand brushed against a wall panel that suddenly lit up beneath his touch. A door slid open, revealing a small room he hadn't noticed before. Inside was a single chair facing multiple screens. Alex sat down hesitantly. The moment he did, the screens came to life. Genetic profile recognized. A calm voice said from nowhere. Morgan, Alexander J. descendant of original crew member. Security protocols adjusted. Alex's heart raced. Who? What are you? Versatile Autonomous Logical Operations and Response System. Valor. Ship's command eye. Damaged but functional. How long have you been dormant? There was a pause before the AI answered. 147 years, 6 months, 18 days. Alex leaned forward. Valor, I need to know everything about this ship. What it can do, how it was built. That information is classified, the AI replied. But circumstances appear dire. Protocols allow for exceptions. Beginning data transfer. Warning. The truth about the Defiance will change your understanding of human history. The screens filled with data, schematics, and records. Alex's eyes widened as he began to understand what they had really found. Sam Nichols wiped sweat from his forehead as he worked inside a narrow maintenance tunnel. 3 months had passed since they began restoring the Defiance. Admiral Williams had extended their deadline after seeing the first progress reports, but Earth's situation grew worse each day. Try the connection now, Sam called to his assistant on the other end of the tunnel. When he touched 2 wires together, the ship suddenly hummed louder. Lights throughout the vessel brightened, and Sam felt a subtle vibration through the floor. What did you do? Olivia's voice came through his comm unit. Just a routine power connection. Sam replied, confused by the ship's strong reaction. He crawled out of the tunnel to find Alex running toward him, followed by Dr. Garcia. "VLOR is fully online," Alex said, breathing hard. "The entire ship is waking up." They rushed to the command center where screens displayed information faster than they could read it. The ship's AI had been partially functional for weeks, but now the holographic interface glowed brightly, forming into a human-like figure. "Full systems recovery initiated," Valor announced. "Self-repair protocols engage." Through the viewport, they watched in amazement as damaged sections of the hull began to change. Tiny machines, barely visible, moved across the surface, repairing cracks and rebuilding broken components. "Nanobots," Sam whispered. "We don't have that technology." "You did," Valor corrected. "Once." Dr. Garcia stepped forward. "What do you mean?" Valor's holographic form turned to him. The defiance was not lost. It was hidden. Deliberately. Alex crossed his arms. Hidden from what? The Velari. A heavy silence fell over the room. Alex exchanged looks with his crew. "You knew about the Velari before they attacked Earth?" Olivia asked. "The Defiance encountered them 147 years ago," Valor explained. "They were already observing your planet. The Defiance's mission was to assess potential threats to Earth. The Velari qualified as a severe threat." "Why didn't you warn us?" Sam demanded, anger flaring in his eyes. "Billions died. The warning was sent," Valor replied. "It was ignored. Human authorities classified the information. They believed the Velari were too distant to be an immediate concern." Dr. Garcia opened his tablet, frantically searching through historical records. "There's nothing here about any of this." "Records were erased," Valor said. "The Defiance was hidden beneath Europa's ice to preserve its technology until humanity might need it." Alex walked slowly around the hologram. "And now we need it. What exactly can this ship do?" In response, new schematics appeared on the screens. Weapons systems, defensive shields, and engines unlike anything they had seen. "The Defiance possesses technology beyond current human development," Valor said. "Particle beam weapons capable of penetrating Velari shields, defensive systems that adapt to attack patterns, and propulsion that allows travel through folded space." "Through what?" Sam asked. "What you might call a wormhole," Valor clarified. "Short jumps through space-time." Olivia studied the schematics. "These weapons, could they really hurt the Velari ships?" "They have before," Valor answered. "In the only encounter between the Defiance and Velari forces, this vessel destroyed 2 of their scout ships before it was damaged and forced to retreat." Alex felt a spark of real hope for the first time. How close are we to having these systems operational? Weapons at 63%, shields at 71%, engines at 48%. Estimated time to minimum combat readiness, 6 days. Sam looked at Alex. "The Velari deadline is in 5 days." Alex turned to the communication station. "Contact Admiral Williams. Tell her we need more people, more resources. Tell her we have a fighting chance." As the message was sent, the ship shuddered. Deep within its structure, ancient machines continued their work, preparing the Defiance for war once again. Through the viewport, they could see sections of the hull changing color as armor repaired itself, weapon ports opening and closing as systems tested themselves. The Defiance was awakening. The transport ship landed on Europa with a dull thud. Admiral Williams had responded to Alex's message by sending Earth's best remaining officers and specialists. As they filed out of the ship, Alex studied their faces. They looked young, too young for the burden they would carry. "Lieutenant Ryan Cooper, reporting for duty," said a tall man who couldn't be more than 25. His uniform was perfectly pressed despite the long journey. "Grace Martins, weapons specialist," said a woman with sharp eyes and a scar across her chin. She carried a case that likely contained personal tools. In total, 12 new crew members arrived. Each had been chosen for specific skills, and each had lost someone to the Velari. They all shared the same look, a mix of grief and determination. Alex led them through the tunnel to where the Defiance waited. As they entered the ship, lights brightened in response to the new human presence. "Is it supposed to do that?" Lieutenant Cooper asked. "The ship responds to human biorhythms," Alex explained. "Valor, introduce yourself to our new crew members." The AI's hologram appeared, causing several people to step back in surprise. "Welcome aboard the U.S. Defiance," Valor said. "Each of you has been selected based on skills this vessel requires. Training will begin immediately." Grace moved closer to the hologram. "What exactly are we training on?" "I've worked with every weapon system in Earth's arsenal." "Not these," Sam Nichols said as he joined them. He had barely slept in days, his eyes red from staring at schematics. "Nothing in Earth's arsenal comes close to what this ship can do." Over the next 3 days, the new crew trained constantly. The Defiance's systems were complex, beyond anything they had used before. Valor was a demanding teacher, repeating drills until each person could perform their duties without hesitation. Lieutenant Cooper struggled with the navigation systems, which used concepts of space that contradicted his training. Grace adapted quickly to the weapons, her hands moving across the strange controls as if she had used them for years. "The targeting system anticipates enemy movement," she told Alex during a break. "It's almost like it can see the future." "Not the future," Valor corrected. "The system calculates probabilities based on previous Velari flight patterns. It is accurate 87% of the time." On the 4th day, Admiral Williams arrived personally. She walked the length of the Defiance with Alex, asking questions about readiness and capabilities. "The Velari fleet is positioning for their final attack," she said as they stood in the command center. "Tomorrow is their deadline. We need options." Alex showed her the battle plan he had developed with Valor. "We don't go head-to-head with their fleet. The Defiance isn't ready for that. Instead, we use hit-and-run tactics. Strike vulnerable targets, then disappear using the fold space drive." Williams frowned. "That's not how our military operates, Morgan. We need a decisive victory, not guerrilla tactics." "With respect, Admiral, a direct confrontation would be suicide, even with the Defiance's technology." Their argument grew heated. Other crew members exchanged uncomfortable glances as voices raised. "This ship represents humanity's last hope," Williams said firmly. "I won't risk it on unproven strategies." "And I won't lead these people to certain death," Alex responded. The tension was broken by an alarm. Sam rushed to a console. "We've got movement. A Velari scout ship has changed course. It's heading directly for Europa." "They've detected us," Olivia said. Williams turned to Alex. "How long until the Defiance is combat ready?" "Valor." Alex looked at the eye. "Minimum combat functions available. Full capabilities require additional 48 hours." Alex met the Admiral's eyes. "We're out of time. We need to launch now." Williams nodded slowly. "Then this is where we find out if your salvage operation was worth it." She turned to the crew. "Battle stations. The real test begins now." The Defiance rose from Europa's icy surface, ice cracking and falling away from its hull. Inside the command center, Alex gripped the arms of the captain's chair. The bridge crew worked at their stations, faces tense with concentration. "Velari scout ship approaching," Lieutenant Cooper reported. "Estimated contact in 6 minutes." Alex nodded. "Valor, activate stealth systems." "Stealth systems engaged," the AI responded. "Light bending field active. Radar absorption at maximum." The Defiance shimmered and seemed to fade slightly from view. It wasn't true invisibility, but it made the ship hard to detect, like looking at a shadow in darkness. "Will this work?" Admiral Williams asked quietly. "We're about to find out," Alex replied. They watched on the main screen as the Velari scout grew closer. It was smaller than their main battleships, but still 3 times the size of Earth's largest vessels. Its surface glowed with strange blue energy, a feature of all Velari ships. "They're scanning the area," Grace said from the weapons station. "Hold position," Alex ordered. "Let them pass by us." The Velari ship moved slowly past their position, its sensors sweeping the space around Europa. For a moment, it seemed they would remain undetected. Then the alien vessel suddenly changed course, turning directly toward them. "They've spotted us," Cooper announced. "Time for Plan B," Alex said. "Grace, target their main sensor array. Minimal power." Grace's fingers moved across her console. Target locked. Fire. A beam of energy, almost too bright to look at, shot from the Defiance. It struck the Velari ship with surgical precision. The alien vessel shuddered, parts of its hull going dark. "Direct hit," Grace reported, surprise in her voice. "Their sensors are offline." "All power to engines," Alex ordered. "Get us behind that moon." The Defiance surged forward, moving faster than should have been possible for a ship its size. They circled around one of Jupiter's smaller moons, using it for cover. "The scout is calling for help," Olivia said from communications. 3 Velari cruisers changing course to investigate. Sam looked up from his engineering station. "Captain, the weapon discharge damaged some of our systems. The Fold space drive is offline." Alex turned to Admiral Williams. "This is where we find out what the Defiance can really do." Williams studied him for a moment. "It's your ship, Morgan. Your call." "Valor, Battle Strategy Alpha," Alex said. "Target the lead cruiser when they come into range." The AI acknowledged the command. The ship's lights dimmed slightly as power redirected to weapon systems. "They're coming around the moon," Cooper warned. "Hold steady," Alex said. The 3 Velari cruisers appeared on their screens, moving in formation. They hadn't spotted the Defiance yet, but they would soon. "Weapons ready," Grace reported. "All hands, brace for combat," Alex announced shipwide. "Fire on my mark." The moment stretched as they waited for the perfect position. The lead Velari cruiser turned slightly, exposing a vulnerable section. Fire. Multiple beams shot from the Defiance, striking all 3 Velari ships simultaneously. The aliens had no time to raise their shields. The first cruiser broke apart immediately, while the other 2 spun away, damaged but still operational. "They're returning fire," Cooper shouted. Energy blasts from the Velari ships shot toward them, but most missed due to the Defiance's stealth systems. One hit glanced off their hull. "Shields holding at 82%, Sam reported. "Again," Alex ordered. Grace fired a second volley. One more Velari ship exploded. The last attempted to retreat but was caught by a final shot from the Defiance. It didn't explode but drifted powerless in space. Silence fell on the bridge as they realized what had just happened. 3 Velari cruisers defeated in minutes, something Earth's entire fleet had failed to accomplish in months of fighting. "My God," Williams whispered. "It actually works." "Send a message to Earth," Alex told Olivia. "Tell them we have hope." News of the Defiance's victory spread quickly. For the first time since the war began, people on Earth celebrated. But Alex knew 3 ships was nothing compared to the Velari fleet. Over the next 2 weeks, the Defiance conducted hit-and-run attacks on Velari supply lines. They would appear suddenly, strike with devastating precision, then vanish before reinforcements arrived. Each mission was dangerous, but with each success, the crew's confidence grew. After their 5th successful attack, Alex sat alone in his quarters studying battle reports. Valor's hologram appeared beside him. "You should rest, Captain," the AI said. Alex rubbed his tired eyes. "The Velari are changing their tactics. They're learning to anticipate us." "Yes, their adaptive capability is significant." Alex looked up at the hologram. "Valor, there's something you're not telling us about the Defiance, about why it was built." The AI was silent for a moment. My memory banks were damaged. Data is still being repaired. But you remember something, Alex pressed. Fragments, images, records. Valor paused. Would you like to see? The wall of Alex's quarters transformed into a screen. Images appeared. Strange ships unlike the Velari vessels, but also unlike human design. They had smooth, curved surfaces that seemed to glow with inner light. What am I looking at? Alex asked. The Lumina, Valor replied. The race that gave humans the technology to build the Defiance. Alex stood up slowly. Aliens helped build this ship. Yes, the Defiance was constructed using reverse-engineered Lumina technology. They came to Earth secretly, seeking alliance. Why? Because they were being hunted to extinction by the Velari. The images changed to show devastating battles. Beautiful Lumina ships falling before Velari weapons. Entire planets reduced to rubble. The Lumina found Earth approximately 2 centuries ago. Valor continued. They believe humans had potential to resist the Velari expansion. They shared technology with a small group of scientists and military leaders. The Defiance was the result, a prototype meant to be the first of many. What happened to them? To the Lumina? The Velari found them before the transfer of knowledge was complete. The Lumina fought to protect Earth, buying time for humans to hide the Defiance. They were defeated. Alex felt a chill. So we're using technology we don't even understand. Not entirely. But the Defiance contains coordinates, a location the Lumina designated as a safe harbor, a place where more of their technology might be found. Alex checked the time. Their next mission was scheduled to begin in 6 hours. Show me these coordinates. Valor displayed a star map with a single point highlighted, a gas giant in a neighboring system, surrounded by unusual radiation patterns. Admiral Williams won't authorize a mission there, Alex said. It's too far from Earth. Correct. Current orders restrict the Defiance to operations within the solar system. Alex stared at the coordinates, thinking. The Defiance had given humanity its first real chance against the Velari, but they were still fighting a losing battle. If there was more Lumina technology out there. The next morning, Alex called his core crew together. Olivia, Sam, Grace, and Lieutenant Cooper. What I'm about to propose goes against direct orders, he told them. Anyone who doesn't want to be involved can leave now. No hard feelings. No one moved. There's something we need to find, Alex continued. Something that could change everything. More than this ship already has, Sam asked. Yes. Alex activated the star map. According to Valor, there's a Lumina outpost here. It might contain technology that could help us defeat the Velari for good. That's outside our operational zone, Cooper pointed out. Way outside, Olivia added. I know, Alex said. That's why I'm not ordering anyone to come. Grace studied the map. How long would the journey take? At maximum speed, 3 days each way, Valor answered. Earth might not have 6 days, Cooper said. Earth definitely won't survive without something to turn the tide, Alex replied. Are you with me? One by one. They nodded. Prep the ship, Alex ordered. We leave in 2 hours. The Defiance emerged from its third fold space jump, systems straining from the effort. Ahead of them loomed a massive gas giant, its swirling storms visible even from a distance. We've reached the coordinates, Cooper announced. No signs of any structures or technology. Alex frowned. Valor, are you sure this is the right place? Confirmed. The Lumina archive should be located within the planet's upper atmosphere. It would be hidden from normal scans. Alex ordered the ship closer. As they descended into the gas giant's outer layers, strange energy readings began to appear on their screens. There's something here, Sam said from his engineering station. The readings are similar to the Defiance's core technology, but much stronger. Suddenly, the clouds before them parted, revealing a massive structure floating within the storms. It was beautiful, a spiral of light and metal that seemed to dance among the colored gases. The Lumina Archive, Valor confirmed. As they approached, a beam of light shot from the structure, scanning the Defiance. After a moment, a docking port appeared, opening like a flower. They recognized the ship, Olivia said in wonder. Alex led a small team to the archive. Inside, they found a vast chamber filled with glowing data columns. When Alex touched one, information flooded into the ship's systems. Incredible, Sam whispered as he examined the data on his tablet. Schematics for weapons, shields, engines, technology centuries beyond what we have. Can we use it? Alex asked. Some of it, yes, Sam replied. There are designs here that could be applied to Earth's remaining ships. And look at this. He pointed to a specific diagram. It shows a weakness in Velari technology. Their ships are vulnerable to quantum field disruptions at a specific frequency. Grace studied the information. With this, we could create a weapon that would shut down their ships completely. The archive also contained a message from the Lumina, a recording made by their leaders before their defeat. They spoke of hope, of belief in humanity's potential, and of other Lumina who might still be hiding among distant stars. Alex felt the weight of their trust. Download everything. We need to get this back to Earth. When they returned to the Defiance, an urgent message was waiting from Admiral Williams. The Velari have launched their final assault. Earth defenses failing. Return immediately. How long until we reach Earth? Alex asked. 18 hours at maximum speed, Cooper answered. Even with fold space jumps. Alex looked at his crew. That might be too late. Not if we send the data ahead of us, Sam suggested. I can compress the most critical information, the shield modifications, and the Velari weakness. Earth's engineers can start working before we arrive. They transmitted the data, then pushed the Defiance harder than ever before. The ship shuddered as they made jump after jump, systems overheating from the strain. When they finally reached Earth, the battle was at its peak. The Velari flagship, a massive vessel that dwarfed everything around it, led the attack on Earth's last defenses. Earth vessels have implemented some of the Lumina modifications, Valor reported, but they're still outmatched. Alex opened a channel to all Earth ships. This is Captain Alex Morgan of the U.S. Defiance. We have the means to defeat the Velari. Follow our lead. The Defiance plunged into battle, its advanced weapons tearing through Velari ships that had previously seemed invincible. Earth's remaining vessels, hastily retrofitted with Lumina technology, followed Alex's coordinated attack pattern. The Velari, for the first time, seemed confused by the humans' new capabilities. Their formations broke as the Defiance targeted weak points that had never been vulnerable before. The final moment came when the Defiance and 3 Earth ships surrounded the Velari flagship. Together, they fired weapons calibrated to the exact frequency Sam had discovered in the Lumina archive. The massive alien ship went dark, its systems completely shut down. Without leadership, the remaining Velari fleet fell into disarray. Some fled, while others were destroyed by Earth's emboldened forces. As cheers erupted across all communication channels, Alex looked at his crew, these people who had trusted him, who had followed him across the stars on a desperate gamble. It's not over, he told them. The Velari will return, and when they do, we'll be ready. The Defiance turned toward Earth, leading the way home. The warship that had changed everything now pointed humanity toward a new future, one where they were no longer prey, but equals among the stars.